Hi everyone and welcome to Season 1 Episode 4 of Reputation Rebuild at Auxerre with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So what? No, I'm doing another Auxerre episode. No, of course it's a good idea. No, I know what happened last episode. I was there, I do remember, but it's fine. Sorry, just a sec, I'm just talking to my therapist from last episode. I'll be with you in a sec. No, it'll be fine. No, I'm still playing a narrow formation. What do you mean that's not a good idea? Well, no, it is. I think I can sort this out. Yeah, have faith. It's fine. You're helping me. It's good. I feel more positive. Yeah? Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's get into this episode and see what happens. Welcome back to Auxerre, everybody. And after last episode, I have done a couple of things. I have got myself my therapist, who just sits over to the left-hand side of me over here, and it just keeps me on the straight and narrow a little bit. So that's a positive. I feel much better about myself today, which is a great thing. In terms of what we've actually done in the save, I have changed some stuff. We are still playing a narrow formation, and I think I've got a better understanding of it, but we'll just have to wait and see. But to prove that that's the case, first off, we go straight into the fixtures, and you can see that they've been okay. Since we lost to Lens 3-1, we've had 5 games, and in that space, we've had 3 wins. Looked a little bit better doing it. We've had a loss, and we've had a draw as well. But the other thing to note is that Lebihan, Sorgic, the 2 strikers are beginning to score goals, which is something that we talked about in the last episode. So that's not too bad. Today we get Grenoble. If we go and have a look in the competition page, you can see that in the Ligue, we sit in 9th place, which is better. We're gradually climbing the table. 4 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses in the 10 games so far. Not too bad. And you can see that Grenoble sit in 6th. So there are a few points ahead of us, a few places ahead of us. Today, though, if we can beat them, it really drags us up into that top part of the table. So that's the potential for us today. Let's hope that we can do it. I think in terms of the recent matches, you can see the last couple have been good in terms of not letting goals in. The 3 wins that we've had have been to 0, which has been good. We did have a little bit of a slip up in that first game against Lorient, just because after that Lens game, I think everything was a bit sort of up in the air, and I was still trying to figure out what to do with this team. But over these last few games, I think I've finally figured out how I want this side to play this season. Not necessarily long term, but definitely this season. So let's get into the tactics page and see what we've done. So at first glance, not a lot has changed, and that is basically true. There isn't an awful lot that has changed. The formation I have kept in this strange kind of 6-person defensive unit and the 4-person attacking unit, just to see if we can continue to make it work. And it has been doing so, but the thing that has changed is the style of play. We were playing in a kind of a counter-attacking style, and a sort of what's the word they use? I can't even remember what it. Direct. I couldn't even think of my words then. A direct counter-attacking style, which still meant a slightly long ball, but it was kind of in particular situations where we were using it. It wasn't really working for us. We weren't getting enough of the ball through the team to get to the top, and it kind of lost its way somewhere. I watched a couple of games complete from 90 minutes and just saw where the issues lay a little bit. I also went and had a look at each of the players and exactly what they're capable of, what their natural positions are and their roles are, but also what the attributes said that they're good at or not good at. And we also then looked at the these roles. My mind is just the mush at the moment. It's something about being in Auxerre, it makes me all twitchy. But yeah, we looked at, I spent some time looking at the roles as well, and discovered some of them needed to change a little bit. But what we've done ultimately is we've gone into the route 1. We are going to attempt to win the ball back in this kind of area of the pitch. These two are going to be much more attacking in their mentality, and we do have 2 basic 4-person setups with the fullbacks moving between the 2. And so far it's working because we are clearing this ground in terms of our ball movement, but we're also getting these two to cover this ground a little bit and these two to drop back in a little bit when we've lost the ball, which is a lot better. And hopefully we'll see that here and there. We're not going to see it so much on the extended highlights, that the key highlights, should I say, that we have to play just to keep the episodes moving on. But I promise you, having watched them for 90 minutes over the last 5 games, it's a better system for us. So in possession, what we've got is we've got underlapping fullbacks. One of the things that one of the guys in the comments below said in their appraisal from last episode, I was really pleased that a few of you got involved and let me know what you thought. And there was some stuff that I really thought was nailed on and really made a lot of sense. And occasionally some that I just didn't quite feel was right for what I wanted to do. But we've gone for the underlapping fullback. And it's just one of those things that I've never really played before, but I just feel like it's the right thing to do. So let's give it a read. It says, look for underlap instructions players on the left flank to hold onto the ball, and rather than waiting for a player to arrive from deep with an overlapping run, instead look to a teammate making a run inside and beyond them. And that's where we're going to have players, because we've got this formation, and these two specifically are always going to be inside and ahead of them. So that's what the fullbacks are now going to be looking for. So that's a positive. We're going extremely direct just because we have to clear that gap. We were sort of half-hearted about it before and it wasn't quite working for us. Now we are trying to put it into this guy here, who is going to be playing as a target man, and we do have 2 of them that rotate. The first one is Ligue. If we go and click on him properly, we will see that he plays the target man naturally. He's got a reasonable heading, but it's more so about the jumping reach, which is 13. At this level, that's not too bad. And the strength to hold up the ball is 15, which is good. So there's some bravery in there. There's some determination in there. And then also he's got some good teamwork to be able to look around him and work with the players that are around him. So that's the first of the guys who's going to play. And if he can't, then Dujimon comes in and plays in this attacking target man role as well. And he's got similar attributes. A little bit more jumping would be great, but his heading makes up for that. So you can see that where one has one great attribute, should I say, the other one has the other good attribute, and they kind of balance out and both can play the role. So that's what we're going to do in that particular position. Then we've got a slightly different type of striker alongside them. On this occasion, it's Sorgic, and he plays as the poacher. So he's got a reasonably good finishing, off the ball, determination, work rate are all good. His acceleration is 13, which isn't too bad, but his anticipation is 14, and that's the one that's one of the key attributes for this particular role. So you can see that we're beginning to figure out how we want the players to play, and beneath them, should I say, in the side, we've got these two, Saki and Ngando. Now, the role that we've changed in this most is Ngando. We had him as like an attacking midfielder before, a supportive midfielder, one or the other. Excuse me. And he does play that, and he can play it fine. We don't want too many playmakers in our side, so I couldn't play him as the advanced playmaker in this particular setup. But what he can do is he can play just behind as a shadow striker. Now, he hasn't got the best attributes for it, particularly. There are 1 or 2. Composure is decent. Decisions is average. Off the ball is good. Teamwork, vision, passing, technique, they're all good. And so he can play this role, and he's doing okay at it. He's got a goal recently, which is good. And so that's the sort of attacking 4, with Saki as the more sort of playmakery style, with his 14 passing and his reasonable vision. He's got reasonable decisions, good composure. So it's much of a muchness at this level, but those are the 4 that we've got. In the defensive area, obviously the fullbacks, one supports and one attacks, just because that's what works for them best. But they are going to come and at least give us an option out wide and then move it inside because of the underlapping runs. Adiote and Belogu, he's the real key to this. What I realised is that last episode, when it wasn't working, 1, we were playing a good side. 2, we had a couple of key people that were out of our side. And 3, I just kind of lost my marbles a little bit. But therapist, it's all good. And Belogu is one of the key people in this particular setup that we need in the side for it to work at its potential. We do have one player out today, and that is Bregery, our central defender, 33 years old, losing a little bit of pace, but everything else for this level is pretty okay, and he's done pretty good for us so far. He is a bit of a miss, because the two other defenders that we've got that can come in, you can see immediately there's some big gaps here. But that's just what we've got to work with this season, at least through till January. Maybe I can get another defender in, possibly, but we'll have to wait and see. The other one that's dropped to the bench is Bernard. You can see he's got some very, very good mentals and physicals for this level of football. Tackling isn't particularly good though. And in the end, Botto has come in and has got a little bit more in the sort of crossing and tackling department, a little bit less in the mentals. Physicals are good. And he's come in and pretty much staked a claim for this particular spot in the side. So there's another change that's happened. So overall, we've changed the style of play completely. Let's go back into the instructions. So overall, this is what we've done. We've changed a few of the roles, a few of the players in terms of the left full-back, made sure we got all of our starting 11 in, other than Bregery today, of course. But if we go back into the instructions, there are a few instructions here, but it just fits the way that we play slightly better. We are not a technically gifted side a lot. There's a few that are in there, a couple in there, but not many. So we have to clear that space and get it up to that target man and try and hold the ball at that point and support from the attacking midfield role, and hopefully get the chances through that kind of mechanism. And it seems to be working for whatever reason. So we've got the underlapping, we've got set pieces being played for, we're going extremely direct, a high-ish tempo, frequently time wasting, using our skills to try and get the time to tick away when we're ahead particularly. We've got a bit more of a disciplined approach. In transition, we are regrouping because we need this set here, the fullbacks, to be back and supporting the defence when we've lost the ball. And also these guys drop in as well and just close that gap up a little bit. But when we get it, the counter-attack means that the fullbacks again bomb on and try and support the play. These two are then back in their attacking formation. If we can get the ball up to this target man and they're approaching at the same time, that's where we get our chances from. And we are distributing to the target man through long kicks and out of possession, a high-ish line, a standard line of defence. We haven't got the pace at the back to leave lots of space there. And we're using tight marking and a defensively narrow shape. And so that's the setup that we've got. And it's been working. It's been playing better. Watching the games, you can see that they are interacting with each other in a better way through getting the ball up the pitch, etc. And so far, it seems to be doing okay, and I feel comfortable that we can make this work a lot better as we go through time and some of these partnerships develop. But there's just something about this way of playing in this particular league that is going to be okay for us, I think, for at least this season, and then we'll look again. So panic over. I think I've sorted a few things out. I think it looks slightly better. Of course, what's going to happen now is that we're going to go into this game and I'm going to get absolutely thumped by Grenoble, and you'll sit there still thinking, I don't understand what's different. But I promise you it looks different to me when I've been watching the games recently, and I'm hoping that we'll get a good performance out of the guys today against Grenoble. So to do that, we've gone with Michel in goal, with Ruyao. Yep, maybe. We'll go with Ruyao in central defence alongside Suprayan because Bregery is out. Setou at right back, Botto at left back, Adiotti and Belogu in central defensive midfield. In the attacking midfield, we've got Ngando and Saki, and up top, we've got Lebihan and Sorgic. And on the bench, we've got Bar, Bernard, Toure and Dom, Chambost, Dujimon and Yatara. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So passionately, I've suggested to them, they've been on a good run in the last couple of games. It's looked better, so keep that going and impress me today. Away from home is always going to be trickier, but the long ball, I think, will work away from home. I think it's, I don't think it's going to be particularly bothered whether we play it at home or away. We're just going to clear that space and get it up to that target man and support from the attacking midfield and hopefully get some chances from it. And of course, naturally, it's going to be the way of the world today against Grenoble. We're not going to see it at all. Nothing for us so far in terms of the possession, low, but that's what we kind of expect now that we're playing the sort of the long ball game. But they haven't made their chances count so far. But they get one chance now to potentially do so in 38 minutes down the right hand side. We need to gather the defence and defend well, and we don't do it, and that is immediately what happens. 38 minutes in, of course this was going to happen. You saw that the results were better, the gameplay was better. I was improving my understanding of this narrow formation, and then you press record and it all goes to pot completely, but it's okay. It's not going to bother me at all. We are going to make this work this season. Whether it's today or not, this is the way we're going to play, and they're going to have to get on with it. We eventually got one attempt towards the latter part of that first half. And that's fairly dreadful, isn't it, as a starting point? So we're going to tell them, because they've been on good form aggressively. Show me something else. I don't care if he's bothered or not. He shouldn't even be in the side. He's not good enough. But there's nothing I can do about that until January, unfortunately. So we have to go with it. And Barr is no better as a replacement. So anyway, he can be demotivated if he wants. We're going to end the team talk there and just kick them back out. And then immediately we're going to go into the shouts and demand more from them for the next few minutes of the game, leading up to the sort of 65 to 70 minute mark, where we'll make a few changes potentially to personnel specifically. But here's a chance for us. We've got a throw in down that side, and it's Lebihan. Oh, he should have done better with that, shouldn't he? And there's the chance that we need, and we need to make those pay. And we have been recently, but not today. 69 minutes, 70 minutes, time to make a couple of changes. Let's see where we need to. Now, obviously, up front, Sorgic, only 6.3. He's been doing better. You saw he'd scored a couple of goals recently, so that's disappointing. First off, though, we take out Adiote and we put in Toure. That's a poor average rating for him. Then we take out Sorgic and we put Yatara in as the sort of attacking striker. We've got Boto on 6.1, who is the player I built up at the beginning of the game and told you that he'd been coming in and staking a claim to the... I'm a curse. I'm absolutely a curse on this Auxerre side, which is amazing. I don't know what to say to that, really. We're going to take him out, though, and put Bernard back in and just see if we can get something from that. And then again, we'll come back out into the shouts, and we're going to say get creative for the last few minutes and just see whether we can do anything with it. Cautiously, we're going to go into a more positive approach for the last 10 minutes of the match. Corner kick, Saki with the corner to the far post. Header comes back and it's off target. And there's a couple of glimpses in there that we can create, but we've got to be more clinical. And in the last few games we have been, and today we haven't been able to do so. Grenoble again, though, down the right-hand side. They got one more attack in them to potentially create a shot themselves. That's a good block, but again, they win the ball back. Our defensive structure is there, though. It's relatively solid until that point, and we just about get away with... No, we don't. It was unlucky. We got some blocks in. We almost cleared the ball. It ricocheted about in that penalty box. It eventually fell to them. The goalkeeper was nowhere to be seen then at that point. And they go 2-0 up. There was a good block there. Another one there. And the goalkeeper had fallen over. And we go 2-0 down. Oh, this is so unfair. They've been playing much better. I promise you they have. I really do. Hopefully at some point in one of these episodes we're going to see it, because it's been much, much better. I do feel like we're getting a grip on it, but on this particular occasion, we just didn't make it stick at all, did we? Back to the drawing board in terms of analysing this particular performance, though, because it's been okay till this game, and then we lose it again. It's that record button. I'm just going to have to update you without showing you any of the games, and it will be fine. Let's summarise this game. No, let's analyse this game on the summary page. So on the summary page, what it will tell you is that they had loads more shots on target, loads more possession, and a better average rating. So on the face of it, we didn't do particularly well. You can see that we approached the game from all of the different aspects of the pitch, but primarily down the middle, which is what we're looking for, which is good. We didn't have quite enough of the ball, did we, in the attacking area, which is the big standout. We could not make it stick up there today. We had plenty getting it up to that point, and then it didn't quite work out. You can see that our heat map is never going to be particularly bold in red in this area now. It should have been slightly more up here, though, and it wasn't. And of course, they're going to work the wide areas because that's where we are slightly weaker. But overall, they got 2 goals, but overall, I thought we coped reasonably well with that. If we go and have a look at the actual statistics for the game, though, the shots off target, if we just focus on our own, we didn't create a lot, but there's the 3 that we got off target, and they were all in the penalty box. These are not long shots from 25 yards out. These are all in the penalty box and should have been put on target at least. And then if we go to the saved ones also, look at these point blank shots. They should, it's probably headers from corners and stuff, but they've got to be doing better. And on previous matches they have been, and that's the basic difference. If we go to our passing and we look at the intercepted passes, as I've always said, this section here I don't mind. They're probably clearing their lines. It's these ones a little bit further up that we've got to be finding the people that we're aiming for, even though we're going slightly longer. And then out of play is bad for today, really. This section again I don't mind. But it's this clump of passes here that is a real problem that we have to eliminate. And especially when we're going out wide. Why are we going out wide when we should be going up to our front men? We're just going to have to get used to playing it, I think. But anyway, crosses. We should have had a few crosses. There's the completed ones. So you can see that on both sides we are getting some good crosses in. Here's the intercepted ones. The ones that we didn't quite manage to meet our targets for. And then these are the ones that were received and obviously had something done with them. And there's a couple of our misses in there, I think. So it's unfortunate today, but overall, I think we're doing okay. Let's look at the defensive side of things a little bit. These are the interceptions that we made, which is good. But here are the interceptions that we didn't make, that we should have done. And you can see that we're creating problems for ourselves. And partly that is unfortunately that we didn't quite have our starting back 4 out. It makes such a big difference. We do not have a good squad at all. I'm absolutely telling you that we don't, especially defensively in that central defensive area. If our first 2 aren't playing, then we are not at the races, and that kind of demonstrated itself again today. But no excuses there. That's the squad that we built for this season. It's what I could do in the summer. We're going to have a look again in January, but ultimately it's not quite up to scratch yet. So we're going to have to go in and say assertively not happy with that performance, because what else can we do? And we'll leave the match day scenario. It means that we drift back a little bit again. It's going to be a real task to keep dragging ourselves up here when we make our own errors and cause ourselves some problems. 15 points after 11 games, not really good enough, is it? But if we go and have a look back in the schedule to figure out next episode, it will just reinvigorate the thought that for the last couple of games it has been better. It just wasn't very good today. I can't press record anymore. It's all it's about. Stop pressing record. Anyway, let's go and have a look in the schedule and figure out what's coming up for next episode. So there's that recent run of good form, which has been fantastic. There's the loss for today, which hasn't been fantastic. And so we're going to come back and play the last game of the calendar year on the 30th of December. No, that's not true. That's November. We're going to come back and play Le Mans in November, and then the last game of December in the next episode to that. and that will do it for the calendar year. So Le Mans next. We've got a couple of games in between time. Nice is going to be challenging. We've got a cup game in there, the 7th round of the Coupe de France. Coupe de France, should I say. So hopefully we'll get a favourable draw in here and get somebody that's possibly beatable. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be challenging. We've also got the Coupe de la Ligue. Okay. So many cups and so many things. I'm still learning this particular setup again in France. But we've got the couple of cup games, couple of league games. I will eventually figure all of this out. Le Mans is the next game for us, though, in this next episode. And hopefully, between now and then, we can get a couple of good wins under our belt. Join me next episode to find that out. I promise you I'm going to stick with this narrow formation. We're not giving up on it. I still think it's a lot easier to play with wide men, but we are going to make this work. It has been doing all right, but just not quite today. And we'll see how we get on next episode. Thanks for joining me today, though. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join my United City community, the more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode if you can. Helps me get seen by lots of other people. Until next time, though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.